tennis.
Oh, wonderful. That's a good way to decompress.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a lifelong tennis fan, so
Are you connected there?
I get really into the matches, right?
Oh, okay.
So I'm like sitting there. You know how like some people watch football. I'm like sitting there.
So what you're saying is it was driving your blood pressure up a little bit.
A little bit. I mean, but I mean, it was good. It was a good problem to have, right?
No judgment.
You can judge. It's all right.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to see you, you both.
Yeah, it's nice meeting everyone. Obviously, I know Gerald, but it's nice meeting everybody else.
Yeah, you too. I'm Jill. I'm Jill. I'm Tiffany Jill.
I mean, if you want to be Jill, you
Hi,
can be
Jill.
You should
Well-
be careful what you should be careful what you wish for.
You might have sold me until you told me you were driving your own blood pressure up by watching these matches. I'm not sure anymore.
Well, there's Venus, there's Coco, there's Taylor,
Yeah.
there's Layla, there's all these women who are just like making me crazy as I'm like watching the tennis, and it's a thing.
Oh. So I wanted to jump in.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Eno.
No, it's okay. I'm Eno. I'm Gerald's husband, and I'll be the one moderating today.
She's like,
Now,
I'm the
did you
husband.
do that on purpose?
I
Or?
mean, wife. Gerald's husband. Gerald's wife. See, you're
We know what you meant.
Word
Gerald's
choice.
husband.
That was like-
We're just a mess today. Oh gosh.
I thought
Okay.
you did that in jest because
Yeah.
of me.
I thought there was a little bit of, I thought that was a deliberate word choice there.
We're all topsy turvy today. It's the day after
All
our holiday.
right.
But I was just gonna say that we scheduled this time just to make sure that you guys got on, that everyone's audio is clear, and we wanted to be on so we can introduce ourselves, those who don't know one another. I don't think that Gerald and Eno and Jill are familiar with Kelly. So just wanted everyone to say hi to one another and to answer any questions that the panelists might have prior to everyone else hopping on the call in about 10 minutes.
So can everyone hear me? I just switched my microphone. Can you hear me?
We can very well.
Okay, great. Do you want me to use headphones? It doesn't seem like anybody else is using headphones.
I'm not using.
I can hear you loud
So
and clear.
clear.
All right, great. All right, cool. Then I won't put the headphones on.
If you're gonna have screaming cats in the background later, or like some birds going across, then maybe. But
Well, I'm not on the boat, so I don't know if I'm going to have the birds going across my background. That would be a little weird. But I do have a puppy, but he's on another floor. He's outside the puppy gate, so he was kind of like went downstairs, and my husband's kind of keeping an eye on him for now. But we shouldn't be hearing him, hopefully.
we like puppies, so.
Oh, Truffle's the best. He is super cute. His full name is Truffle. His full name is Truffleopagus.
Oh, Truffleopagus. What a fun name.
Yeah, I wish I could take credit, but my husband is the one who came up with the name.
It's really cute. Very
He
cute.
was a Sesame Street kid without telling me he was a Sesame Street kid.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love Snuffleupagus? So then that's where Truffleopagus comes in.
That's right.
Now I get it. It took me a while. I got it now.
Gerald, did you not watch Sesame Street? You know what? A different story for a different day. We're gonna do
Yeah,
it
I
after.
did. I did. I grew up in Sesame Street for sure.
Okay.
I don't know, Tiffany. I don't think that's your monkey or your circus. I think
Probably not.
Shujat, good to see you. You are
Can't hear you.
on mute.
All right, Google. All right. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice meeting everyone.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, Sujat.
Same here. Same here.
All right, so I'm hearing your audio, but it sounds like you're far away, Sujat.
Okay. That might be. All right.
Testing,
How about
testing.
now?
Still sounds like a distance. I don't know what that's about.
Oh, okay, probably it's picking up. Yep, that's picked up.
And then so it's just Teresa and Kelly. Can we hear? Can you hear us clearly? And
I can hear y'all clearly. Can you hear me
Yeah.
clearly and loudly? Because
Yeah,
I
you're
don't have a
coming.
microphone like Shujat and Jill. So I just want to make sure my laptop mic is working properly.
Yeah, no,
And
it's
then we
perfect.
lost all audio for Sujat.
Man.
It is good that we do this beforehand too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it is always good to do the sound check beforehand for a
Mhm.
live event. Oh, always time well spent.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now
Project
Jeremy,
management
I know, and
101.
Tiffany- What was that,
Go ahead.
Tim?
I said project management 101.
Oh,
Always
yeah.
check.
Mm-hmm. Every time.
all right, so did we hear from Teresa? She's the only one.
I don't have an update from Teresa for
Oh,
today.
there you
There she is.
go.
You called
So-
her right on up.
We called you right in.
I was coming in hot. I'm sorry, guys.
No worries. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, nice to meet everyone.
Hi.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks for the email comms. I really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, Tiffany, for keeping us organized.
Of course, of course. No, we still can't hear you. Shujat.
You can't hear me?
No,
we
she
can hear
shot.
you. We're
Yeah, we
having
can hear. She shot.
Yeah, he'll
You might
work out
need
his
to-
audio.
it exit and then come back in.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah. While he's working on that, just because we have like 6 minutes prior to getting started, I just wanted to reiterate what Idel said, which is we're really grateful that all of you have decided to join us for today's panel. We think this is a really important discussion. And so as people are joining in, I know we've committed to 45 minutes and we want to keep the time. We want to be honest with the time. So if people linger towards the end and you have the capacity to do so, if they're asking questions, that's fine. But we're going to try to stay on task and get started as soon as we'll give people a couple minutes. But then like right after that, I'll jump in, I'll get out of the way. And then NO is going to be our amazing moderator for the afternoon. And I know you guys are going to do beautifully. So just
All right.
send me a message. Oh, we can hear you.
You can hear me now? Okay.
Yeah. Woo.
How the USB mic A was, of course, first not connected because I've been disconnecting things, resetting my room, but Google picked up 4. So I had to go one by one, which ones for the same mic. So,
Technology for the win. Tiffany, thank you for putting us in a position to be successful today.
Yeah.
Couldn't have done it without the team. It was a team effort, I promise.
My only caveat that I think I only told Tiffany and Eno and Gerald no is I'm not in HR. So I'm not in hiring. I'm actually in go-to-market sales at my company, but I'm heavily involved in interviewing. And on the side for my church, I've been involved for about 13 years in interview prep, job search assistance, and resumes. So this is like a passion project for me. So when you're asking questions, I'm not in HR. That's the only caveat I wanted to put out there. I'm more of like living it. I've interviewed the past year, like since January, 47 different people in sales functions for the company I'm in. So hopefully
Wow.
that's helpful and not
Sure.
distracting.
Teresa, that's actually still really great because it just adds another layer of perspective. You
Okay.
know, instead of just dealing with people just in HR, we want to hear people outside of HR too.
Okay,
It would make more
cool.
sense. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
my background's in
That's right.
product, Teresa. I call myself a recovering product person. So
That's awesome. Okay.
I was looking at the panel. I was like, yeah, this is a diverse group of people, you know, so we get all different types of opinions from different like areas and spaces. So that's pretty cool.
Teresa, I did a stint in HR. I can tell you the most HR person is not in HR. Unless you're in talent acquisition. But the people who really do this are, and I think HR as well wants to listen to people who are from the business side.
Okay.
I think, and that's where we're headed. I think that HR has a interesting time right now.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kelly, I
Teresa.
think you're in the TA space, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually in recruiting, so
Yeah,
it's going to be nice hearing other people's thoughts too. That's what I'm excited about. So
Okay.
yeah.
TA is the only field I'm seeing hustling right now to build business, to do more. So it is.
And I'm going to speak to that too, because when I saw the questions, I was like, oh yeah, I got a lot to say about this.
We know you do.
Especially now during these times. So
Is Gerald, is it still clear? I just put my mic away so it's
Yeah.
not in the.
It is very clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hi,
Nice.
Monica and Latasha. I see that you guys have hopped in a few minutes early. We're just chatting it up before we get started. We'll give people some time to get in, and then we will start with our panel. But thanks so much for being here. This is awesome. I'm so glad to see your happy faces.
How was everyone's long weekend? I may have missed that because as I was trying to fix my mic. Huh?
Not
It was
long
really-
ago.
not like that part. Yep. Not long
Thank you.
Good,
Did-
but not long enough.
Anyone who has kids or like family in their family, like did the kids start school this week for you, or they had
For
they
us,
already?
it was last week,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
which is a
because
little bit weird because then we have a 3-day weekend. But yeah, we are already in the thick of it.
Yeah.
ours started mid-August, and then now.
Okay.
Yeah. Gerald, you were saying?
Yeah, we started this week.
Steve?
Mm.
Well, last week. This week is this is only Tuesday.
Yeah, it used to be the thing for us, and I used to be like East Coast in Toronto, like Labor Day. The schools end of June, and then they start after Labor Day at least at that time. And then for us, it's now like start of June, but then they wrap up early. So it's always trying to coordinate vacations with friends is a mess now in the summer.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's so much different than when I was going. I won't start talking about it because then I'll really tell my age.
Hey, I love whatever they're doing in the Commonwealth system in New Zealand, Australia, UK, where it's like every quarter, 10 weeks of classes, weeks off. And then just give
Yeah.
the opportunity to not be booking vacation during either peak winter time or
Yes.
July. You can spread out, you reduce your burnout.
Yeah.
It is the kids have a better sort of like work-life balance for them as well. Every quarter. I think that's how it should be.
I would totally be down for that.
Yeah.
Of course, my laptop wants to die on me.
No. We're gonna give Inno an opportunity to run and get that charger. Anyone else for that matter, make sure you're all charged up so we can have a good discussion today. Hi, Candace. Hi, everyone that's joined thus far. It's 6:30, so we just want to give people a couple more minutes to get into the room, and then we'll get started. I'll make a quick intro and get out of the way. Because Inno has that color that she looks so good in on today, so I want Max
Everybody looks
screen-
great today.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Candace.
Hi there. How are you?
Well, you're doing well too.
Yes.
I heard, Kelly, you mentioned the questions from Tiffany. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Hearing NL.
I'll get a lot covered. So some of the questions will come from, the ones that Tiffany gave, as well as some that I also curated to include some questions about AI, because so many people want to know about that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I saw that Rupesh also just joined. So thank you so much for being here, Rupesh. We cannot wait to hear from you. I'm going to give it one more minute and then we'll just let people roll in to the conversation, kind of like they have been while we were chatting it up about all things weekend and kids and tennis and blood pressure. And puppies
Hi,
kind of
Chris.
named after.
Mhm.
TV shows.
Not just any TV show, Sesame Street. I mean, come
Yes.
on.
You're right. All right, folks. If it's all right with you, I'll go ahead and get started. So some of you may know me, but I am your host for the evening. My name is Tiffany Richmond. I am one of the founding team members. And so I'm just kind of going to help navigate today's meeting. We've committed to doing a little less than an hour, and I really want to keep us honest with the time so that you will come back and talk with us again, and trust that we honor your time and things that you have to do. For those of you who are not aware, I just want to kind of go over our mission here at Reference Me. So we're a human-centered service provider that skillfully augments digital technology to help people achieve their career potential. And we do that in a myriad of ways, both on the individual side as well as the business side. And so we're here to hear from some amazing panelists today, and I'm going to turn it over to NO shortly just to introduce them, but kind of wanted to set the expectation. So we're 45 minutes strong. I am encouraging questions and answers in the chat. Also, this is a Google Hangout. This is very conversational. I know that when you popped in, you probably thought, well, this is a fun bunch because we were just chatting. So if you want to ask your question out loud, please just hit the button at the bottom of your screen that allows you to raise your hand, and I will keep my eye on that and acknowledge you so that you can ask out loud. But if you're a little on the shy side, put your question in the chat and we will get to your question there as well. And so towards the end, I will come back and wrap things up, close the call, kind of give our wonderful panelists an opportunity to have last words, and get you guys out of here. And so I'm going to turn it over to our founder, Eno Gordon. She is going to be our wonderful moderator for the day. And just let me know, ping me on the side if you need anything.
Okay, thank you, Tiffany. And I just want to thank everyone for being here today. I know how busy life is, and you could have chosen to be anywhere else. And so we sincerely appreciate your presence here today. My name is Enal Gordon. I am a physical therapist as well as the CEO and owner of Reference Me, as Tiffany has already shared what our mission is for our company. With a background in physical therapy, my passion has always been the same. And so using our company to help to streamline the hiring process so that people can get hired and be able to function in their optimum abilities has been a goal of mine, as well as when I'm working with my patients and seeing them function optimally in order to return to a full status of good health. So I'm very passionate. Generally, I would say, helping people to thrive. And I think that Reference Me does that, and as well as in my profession as a physical therapist. So in this on a little bit under an hour, as Tiffany had mentioned, we want to use this time to tackle one of the pressing questions and pain points that the industries are facing today. And that is that when resumes are glowing because of tools such as AI, how do we filter out the noise? How do we know the real versus what is being AI generated? And then whether by expediting the hiring, I apologize. So the workforce is, moving rapidly. Organizations are facing challenges, not only in hiring, but also in sourcing the right talent and retaining them for long-term success. We want to explore these pain points and highlight the solutions that can help organizations and candidates in this changing environment. So what we want to focus on are the challenges that AI is introducing to hiring, solutions and best practices for fair evaluation, and the future of work and what skills truly matter. And we have an awesome panelist here. I do have information for being able to introduce them, but I would really love for them to introduce themselves to make sure that they're not leaving out any key factors that they would want to share with our audience today and with each other. So we will start with Jill. Jill, we cannot hear you.
It was going to happen to someone. It might as well be me. I'm Jill Beck. I live in Seattle. Good evening, everyone. It's the afternoon here. I founded a business after 30 years in corp in investment banking and in tech called Go Long, where I focus on accountability coaching for women 40 plus, and I coach via text. But I also do a lot of work with corporate in terms of time management and productivity, which was kind of an offshoot of the individual coaching. And in both my individual and coaching practices, I see a lot of strain and frustration and really intimidation around AI and how it's impacting the job search process and also keeping their jobs. So I think that it's an all-encompassing thing, and I'm really happy to be here. And I want to thank the Reference Me team for inviting me to be here.
Thank you for being here, Joe. Okay, next we will have Kelly Hollis.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Kelly. I've spent 5 years within talent acquisition. And then I also have a business that I actually just started last year to help with resume reviews and also to update LinkedIn profiles as well. Talent acquisition is definitely a passion of mine, so I'm really excited to be a part of this panel as well. And also thank you all for the opportunity to be here.
Our pleasure. Next, we have Shuyat Ahmad.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. My name is Shujat. I'm dialing in from Dublin, the one in California, not the one in Ireland. I've been 2 decades of a corporate anomaly, from supply chain to strategy consulting, and then did a radical pivot to talent. And over the last decade was with LinkedIn building that, and very proudly turned that into a corporate dropout to go build something for individuals. I had multiple careers helping both business and talent together and figuring out how can we make work both for business outcomes, but also be more purposeful. And then I pivoted over the last years, like, all right, how do we make this for individuals who are going to get left behind around AI? And companies are not going to help them. Schools are not going to help them. How do we help them use AI and career transformation? And I'm focused on 2 populations, mid-career, non-technical professionals, age 40 plus, as well as Gen Z, students and early in career. And then there's, of course, other layers in between around, women and underrepresented groups. So happy to be here, happy to talk about future work and all things talent.
Thank you for being here, Shuyat. And then let's see, we have Rupesh Dabir. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, that's right. Thanks for having me. I'm Rupesh, Eng leader at Google. I think somebody gave a physical therapy analogy. I think I'll give a similar analogy, but I'm passionate about building experiences for people, for millions of people. I've been in the tech industry for over a decade, and I've built various products, PayPal, now at Google, and I am just passionate about serving people through software. Being part of the hiring committee at Google, hired hundreds of people before Google, and this AI is weird. Like, I think we are in a very weird spot right now. So happy to chat more. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. And last but not least is my husband, my chief technical husband. He is the technologist for Reference Me, and I am very grateful to him because it is because of him that I was able to see this vision come to pass as far as building our platform. And so I'm going to allow him to introduce himself.
You can't hear me?
Yes.
Who's doing something weird? It knows that we're both in the same house, so it's merging our audio. But let me not nerd off on that right now. So I'm Gerald. I am the CTO of Reference Me, and my whole purpose is I'd love to see how technology helps people. And I came out of the traditional sciences and engineering, where you build a part and it takes 3 years in order for you to see the part. But now that I'm in software, I can imagine things and build them and test them, and fell in love with that. One of the things that I'm really excited about is, number one, seeing all of you on this call. But the conversation that we're about to have is a critical conversation that's happening all over the world right now, honestly. What is AI doing to us? And what are the things that we're doing today in order to learn, grow, understand it, and use it in the spaces that we're in? And so I'm excited to be here and to talk about it as well. That's me.
So can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm having a bit of an issue with my screen. I may have to have Gerald just come for a second to assist me. So please bear with me, and I do apologize.
I know while you're doing that, do you want me to introduce myself?
Yes, please. Oh, my apologies, Teresa.
No,
Please.
no. I'm buffering you so you can figure out your IT. It worked out perfect. I'm Teresa. I'm out of Charlotte, same city as Enno and Gerald. So East Coast, right after dinner, just fed the kids. And I work in sales training for a cybersecurity company out of Tel Aviv. I have worked in go-to-market type roles my whole career and have a passion for being part of the interview process, staffing the right people, and have, like all of you, been part of the shift to resumes and interviews moving to AI. And it is really weird, but I also am kind of enjoying it. So it'll be interesting to hear, based on the questions, some of the different responses and how we're making it all work, because I don't think it's going anywhere. So thank you for including me.
Thank you for being here, Teresa. And that did work out well, except for the part where Gerald did not come to give me the help that I needed. So honey, can you please come and help me with my screen?
Just an FYI though, and we can't see you.
You cannot?
We can see you. That was part of the issue.
Okay. All right. So I can't.
That was a good chat.
The view.
Technology glitching on us in real time.
Yeah.
Up. So true, Rupesh.
Yeah. That is true.
I don't know how to do that.
Goes to how Gerald is always saying, you gotta always have a human in the loop.
Try that.
That's got to be the theme of our discussion today.
Human in the loop, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's as much as you're going to get.
Okay. All right. Well, that works. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a glitch in real life there. So let's get started. Let's jump right in. And I want to encourage our audience to please go ahead and ask questions in the chat. Tiffany and or Gerald will be able to, if I'm not aware of it, bring it to the awareness of our panelists so that they can be addressed. So thank you all for being here once again. And let's get started. Our first segment, we will talk about challenges in hiring, right? So the talent pool as we know it is wide, more than ever before. And the goal of AI is efficiency and productivity. And yet, with the increasing use of AI, organizations are struggling to identify the right candidates across industries. Yeah. What are the biggest challenges you see organizations facing in today's hiring landscape? And so Shiyat, let's start with you. And please, after him, feel free to jump in, or I can call on you.
Yeah, this we hear a lot about skills, right? That was happening before AI as well. And now with AI, everyone's talking about AI skills, but what are skills, right? Uh, whatever skills that we had from a business perspective, a human perspective, and then technical perspective, the half-life for that is shrinking rapidly, right? So the biggest challenge right now is recognizing that, okay, we need to find what is going to work for us in the future. And the skills that we think are valuable right now, they may not be valid, right, for what we're hiring for. So I think there's three aspects to it. One, the key skill that you want to look for is AI fluency and ability to learn and unlearn using AI, regardless of what domain you're in. And then being able to assess against it that who has that appetite right now, and can we hire them and they can help build it for us. The third is in the absence of that second part, is companies are right now putting in AI in almost every job description. You have layoffs happening of people who are actually really good for AI, and you're like, I'll get cheaper talent in, and like, who's evaluating them if they're good for AI or not, and who put in the evaluation in the job description, and who's actually assessing them. The person asking the question in the interview, they themselves don't know about AI, right? So it's like a catch-22 right now. And I think that is a key part, knowing the skill, but then building the right assessment and understanding what are you assessing for. I think that, and it's not going to be hard and fast, right? It has to be very fluid and evolving. That is where I think I see everyone struggling at this point.
I think the other thing with that.
Rupesh might be talking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, did someone have?
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Jill.
I think the other thing that's a challenge is that you're seeing job descriptions that are talking about 5 years experience using AI and everything else. And you're kind of like, wait, what? And I think that there's a level of then people are trying to craft resumes, working backwards from the job descriptions, saying that they have the AI experience and they don't. And it's creating like this whole sense of like false incentives that I think is making hiring managers and recruiters absolutely batty. And Teresa, I know that, and Rupesh, you're both, working for, organizations where you're doing a lot of recruiting. I'm curious what you're both seeing in that, like what the repercussions of that are when you have job descriptions that people then work back and use ChatGPT to create a resume for.
I think it's really interesting. Also, the weird place we are in right now. We are at an inflection point where things are changing so rapidly. So I remember my mom telling me when I was a kid, don't talk to strangers, right? Like, and now we get into a stranger's car and call it Uber, right? Like, it's really how things are changing so rapidly with AI. I think it's true that with ChatGPT and all the LLMs, like you can generate whatever the heck you want, right? Previously, we used to have like some sort of like ATS systems that can basically say, okay, this is a job description, this is the resume, that's cool, right? Right now, all that is out of the window now because it doesn't make any sense. Anyone can generate any kind of resume that you want. So I think this underscores the importance of human touch in the loop, I would say. I think these days, when I hire, I optimize for more of like, behavioral first, and then slowly narrowing down to technical and cultural. Like cultural thing, AIs can't evaluate right now, which is a good thing, like which is very important. But I think like Sujat said, like I think upskilling yourself in the world of AI right now is very important, because what is relevant today might not be relevant a month after. And because we still have lots to figure out where this is going. So
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Anybody want to go ahead? Go ahead, please, Kelly.
So I think AI is great for finding good talent, and it's definitely a skill that a lot of people should have. I also think that you could be trained on it too. But there's other things outside of AI that we need to take into account when it comes to challenges that companies are coming across that AI just can't simply fix. And that's people like return to office. So having people relocate, that might limit our pool, even with the use of AI, or even like inflation, right? Companies can't keep up with paying employees what they need to be paid with this sudden hit of inflation and everything like that. So AI is a great use to have and a great skill set to have, but there's more to the issues and challenges that companies have to face when hiring great talent.
I was just going to build upon what Kelly and Rupesh were sharing. And this isn't necessarily as much about the skill, although I think all of us should be investing time in this right now and be really open to learning on the job. And obviously that's going to vary so much depending on the role you take. Does an event coordinator, need to be highly skilled in AI versus a product leader? And so I think we need to just be cognizant of how, what we bring to the table as a human being, our experience. But the thing I was going to say at my organization is, of course, we've invested in the tools to screen the candidates, which reduces the candidate pool. But man, I have never felt like the network mattered as much as it does in 2025. Because if you think about today, if there's 300 candidates that apply for a job on day one, and one of those has invested in that network with someone they worked with 20 years ago, that still moves them to the top of the pile. And then if you think about how many great candidates there are right now because of our economy in the United States, it's like the perfect storm. So I would just say we are taking referrals very seriously right now. We have to, because of how large the candidate pool has gotten.
Yeah.
I think the other thing related to that, Teresa, is that there's the bots that, are submitting, these applications. And I've seen it on both sides where there's phantom jobs and phantom candidates. And the thing is that if I send you a candidate, I'm a human, that there's a very high likelihood that I am sending you a human. So the thing is that if you have a choice likely between someone that a human sends you versus someone who comes in through whatever ATS you're using, you're probably going to choose it from the human. So I think there's that
world, Jill. That's a really good point.
Right?
Okay, so I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah. No, I was just going to close out the point that, I would do the same for you. I'd be like, oh, well, Teresa sent it to me, so I'm assuming that this person's a human.
So it sounds like we are jumping ahead as far as some of the questions that I was going to be asking here, which is, it sounds like most of us agree that we need that human in the loop, right? And I'm wondering, in the face of AI, how are we filtering out resumes that do appear perfect? How do we find that human quality through AI generated resumes, apart from, oh, well, I know this person is real because, Teresa sent them to me. And so this person must be real and they must qualify for the job. And this is going to be leading to so much more, because now you're highlighting the importance, because we have to find tools to navigate this landscape now. So then how do we find that candidate who is using AI tools to apply for the job? How are they, I guess you could say, shooting themselves in the foot? Because now you can't tell one person apart from the other. What tools, apart from, say, references, or maybe more expound on the use of references, to distinguish between the fluff and the person from AI and the real candidate for the position?
We thought about that a while ago with Reference Me, where with Reference Me, with what we built, our desire is to have that same feeling when
Gerald, I think your audio keeps going in and out. I'm not sure if it's catching on to Enos or not.
it's catching on to NLs. I'm going to walk over there and I'm just going to
Come on over.
While Gerald is walking, Shajat, do you want to kind of tap in?
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw a counter to that. I think you use AI to stand out. Yes, anyone who's using AI to sort of regress to the mean, everyone looks like an average, right? You don't know where to cipher. If AI fluency end of the day is what's going to make someone look good. So I've had both like Gen Z as well as like mid-age and senior candidates where I'm like, I'm against submitting resumes. I'm like, don't submit the resume till someone says you're so good. Submit the resume because it's part of our process. Uh, I would take Notebook LM right now. Take your whatever projects you've done, put it as a podcast, put it as a video tutorial, send it to a person in a short form. It already displays AI fluency. It reflects that you can synthesize stuff and communicate really well. On top of it, take a phone, record a video for 1 minute and say, this is who I am. This is my video sales letter as a candidate. You will, even if you don't get that role, you will be top of mind for people. So that's one. For those who don't have the experience, right, early in career, it's like use AI to do projects, your own use cases, solve them. You don't know everything, right? But you use that. You can use Gamma. You can just tools to build out a website right now and say, this is my portfolio page. Here's who I am. And then have someone say, all right, why don't you submit your LinkedIn and resume because that's part of our process. And you're signaling the key thing that the hiring manager is not putting in the JD, which is, I need someone to make me look good on AI fluency. I need someone to be able to talk about this. I also need someone who can help me because I don't know enough about AI, right? So it's the same psychology pre-AI days as well, right? Of how someone hires you and why you're not a threat, but you're someone who's gonna make them look good as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Shirat. Okay, Rupesh, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting question. I think right now, I think it's a matter of the complete package. So if you think about it, your resume only tells you part of the story. I mean, these days, like, your LinkedIn is your resume. So for me, I think not just your resume, maybe cover letters might become cool again. Like, this is where you can write a personalized note, non-AI generated note that says why you think you are the best person for this job. And you can already see that a lot of companies like OpenAI, ironically, they started really putting in an application like, why do you want to get this job? Like, do not use AI specifically in their applications as part of the hiring process, because that's your unique voice. Your resume could be AI generated, but your unique story of like, okay, why do you wanna get this job, and then your projects and your LinkedIn has references, right? Like the entire package as a whole explains your narrative more than just your resume itself. So,
Excellent. Thank you. Kelly?
Yeah, so I agree with Shujat and Rupesh. Definitely using systems that could catch on to what was AI generated and then sending a personal note. I'd like to add also during the interview process and during the screens, as a recruiter, normally what I add into the interview process is like a case study. I know other people might call it something different, like an assessment or just a test simply. But especially if they're having this assessment or test or case study in person, if we're now returning to office, right, we can see that they can't hop on their phone or use another resource to try to get AI to help them with that test. But, like for finance, we submit case studies over to them. Like, can you crunch these numbers? And of course, these might be random questions, and we might want to see you do it within an Excel spreadsheet. So there's some details we add in there to try to help and try to alleviate any AI generating at all. And then even, like a test, a written test for a copywriter I might be hiring. You could write really well. Maybe AI could have wrote that for you. But am I hearing the voice of the company through your writing? Right. And I think that's what we're really looking for. And that would be able to like filter out those candidates that probably did use AI in that case.
So is there a challenge with using AI though? I would like to look at it from the other perspective is if you have more access to data in order to make a more informed decision, we are in this phase where there are so many things going on. So you're trying to find authenticity in all of the noise. But the other aspect of it is how can it make us better? So maybe I only had 10 signals that I was able to process at one time because I'm human. But now with AI, you can synthesize hundreds of signals, even to the point where they try to predict if this person will be a good fit for the company based off of all the signals that we can now synthesize and bring in front of us to be an additional aspect of hiring. So yes, I agree with the authenticated part of it. And there's the other side of being able to have all of this information synthesized in such a way that it actually does help you make a better decision for a hire.
I guess I want to take a little bit of a contrarian approach, not just to be contrarian, but just to look at it differently. Because a number of former colleagues have run into this when they're interviewing candidates. And so they're talking about how they can tell that someone's using ChatGPT to respond to questions. And so I said, well, instead of trying to like figure that out, why don't you just ask them what prompt they used? If you're putting in the job description that the person needs to be AI fluent, then why don't you just ask them what it is that they used to elicit the response, right? And not be afraid of the fact that they did that. Now, obviously, you have to be very careful about when you play that card, right? You have to understand about the company's culture and everything else. And that's when you should probably talk to the recruiter, because if the job description says you need to be AI fluent, then go play ball, right? Like, go do that. And then the other thing I'll just add, if you don't mind, is that I think there's also, someone asked the question, I think it was Monica, about like what they should be upskilling on and everything else. Most of the people I talk to have whiplash from trying to keep up with all the tools that are being released in AI. And I think it's a fool's errand because you're not going to do it. And I think it's better off for everybody to pick a couple of tools that have really helped you out. And so think about a use case for you that's a huge pain in the ass for you. Sorry for swearing. But a huge pain in the neck for you, and something you do regularly. And if you're able to articulate that to a recruiter and say, hey, this was a huge pain point for me, and I figured out a way to automate this using AI, that's going to be way more compelling to someone probably like Teresa, who will then say like, oh, you're crafty and creative. You figured this out. You could probably help us in other ways. And so don't try and go for breadth, go for depth.
So it sounds like to me, we're saying just be the people that we've always been, because everyone's trying to be better or greater using AI, but it's creating issues that we didn't have before. And now in order to solve those issues, we're saying, no, go back to this way of doing things. I mean, are we going to be running around in kind of circles around the problems and solutions of AI?
You made a statement on your math.
Yeah, it's a question.
Okay.
So let's see. I think let's go with let's see. What do you think, Teresa? You answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a conundrum, right? I don't have the perfect answer, but I think we all know that people are looking for an authentic, highly skilled member of their team to support their open role. And so if the job asks for AI and you leverage AI, you still need to get to the interview. And then when you get to the interview, bringing your whole self, which is LinkedIn, your network, and your resume, right? And then you get to the interview, hopefully you're meeting a person. I know there's the pre-screening with AI. I think it's pretty cool. I know it throws a lot of people off, but once you get to a person, hopefully you're not using your phone for that meeting, right? And so I feel like I can tell when people are authentically asking me or I'm asking them questions, and I usually have 50% they ask me questions actually. But like one of my go-to questions when I'm interviewing go-to-market people is, tell me about your superpower. How do you hit your goals at the company you're at today? I don't notice people putting that in ChatGPT. I notice people smiling and laughing and saying, I haven't been asked that before. I'd love to share that with you. So I would just say upskill. Yes, invest in upskilling so that you're not behind the curve. But I love the comment Jill made because, it resonated with me in the past 18 months. I found 3 tools that have helped me in sales enablement and training that I guess I can say now I'm a little savvy in when it comes to AI, and I've invested in, and now I have a customer success manager and I'm leveraging. So I'm excited to bring that to the next role. But I didn't even really realize, that would be going deep versus wide in AI skills. So I thought that was like a really good analogy. I don't know everything. I have so much to learn, which I find to be really exciting. But I've tried a few tools that are helping my team do things better, faster, smarter. So I'm going to be looking for people that either have some of that experience or are willing to learn on the job.
Excellent. Thank you for your insight, Teresa.
Thanks, Anna.
Shira?
I think Rupesh was before me. Rupesh raised his hand.
So
Oh,
that's the
Rupesh?
number 1 and 2.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I plus one what Teresa said, and we can already see that happening right now in the tech hiring right now. So if you think about it, like 5 years ago, or I don't know, even a couple of years ago for that matter, we had like a typical interview process, like, oh, you have a phone screen, you come to onsite. Phone screen was more of a formality, like just evaluating with the recruiter phone screen, and then you come onsite. But right now, I think the tide is shifting. And I see a lot of initial setup, like phone screen, take home, and then you talk to one more person, and then you come on site. And by this point of time, the team knows a lot about you. Like they have vetted the candidates, they know a lot about the candidates, and then you meet in person. And this reminds me of calling Southwest, right? You call Southwest, and there's a bot that greets you, tell me what you want. And then you go through the hoops and loops, and eventually you get connected to a customer rep. Like I see a very similar kind of a paradigm happening in hiring right now. So this underscores the importance of learning to use AI tools. Like, it could be a take-home project, submit a project. You could use AI. In fact, some companies are using LLMs as part of the hiring process. They want to know how many minimum number of prompts can you give to get to the solution. Can you actually, like a candidate might do 10 prompts to get to the solution, other ones might be only 2 or 3 prompts, right? Like, and the questions are intentionally designed to kind of work with LLMs. So it's like, it's nobody quite honestly knows the answer to this question, but I think everybody's trying to figure out the right perfect balance. But I think going forward, the perfect balance is going the people and also AI skills, like both of them. It's a jack of all trades.
Agreed.
Thank you. Tiffany, I think our audience has some questions that we'd love to have answered for them.
Yeah, actually, there are some really great questions in the chat. I think some of them have been asked and then answered as conversation has gone on. But Monica did ask earlier, how does the LinkedIn algorithm change combined with AI impact upon the job search process? Not sure if there's someone who wants to jump in and answer that. Maybe Kelly.
Yes, I was going to say I could definitely answer that. So with AI and LinkedIn Recruiter, there's a lot of things that are now automated, like our messages are automated. Some of the filters have been are automated for you as well. But the good thing with LinkedIn is it still offers a piece for us to just choose our own filters, to, of course, create our own algorithm with candidates that we're looking for. But yeah, AI has definitely added its own piece if you just want to go a quicker route. And I can't say that it's more effective. I can't say with the messaging it's more effective, but it's pretty much the same as what we even had before AI, where when you're posting a job and someone applies, you get to create your own questions as a recruiter of what you're looking for. Like, this candidate needs to have at least X amount of years in this role. So you can ask that question. Do you have your bachelor's or master's degree? Are you skilled in Python for coding or anything like that? So we could still ask our questions and make sure we're still getting the algorithm that we want. But if we don't ask those questions, if we kind of just go that quicker route using LinkedIn Recruiter, AI does create its own algorithm for us, basically, in the LinkedIn Recruiter app, I would say. Yeah. I hope that answered it, Monica.
Any other questions, Tiffany?
I think the rest of them have kind of been asked and answered. Maybe when searching for project management positions, this is, I guess, kind of specific. How critical is AI fluency? And this is just with regards to project management roles.
I would say, I'm sorry, was someone else going to talk?
Go for it, Jill.
I was just going to say, it really depends on if you're able to leverage tools that allow you to communicate, and get statuses out so that you can find out what's really going on. So find the lowest leverage tasks that you can automate so that it allows you to really be like talking to people and getting information, because ultimately when you're running a project, it's really finding those signals to find out where the risks are and where to escalate them. And that's not always going to come through a status report. Like, you can automate that. But I have found that in running projects that still, we're going back to human in the loop, you want to free up as much as you can so you can do more of that human in the loop fact finding to find out if something's going to throw your project off. That's my opinion. Others' mileage may vary.
Jill, I agree with you. I was just going to share that I think the two key traits I look for in a project manager are organization and efficiency. And that's kind of the crux of why AI, I think, has come to be. And so I think through software tools, some no cost, some low cost, there's some really cool stuff out there that could help with this role. And so getting up to speed on what is the top out there and watching some YouTube videos of demos of how they operate could really advance you in terms of knowledge when applying for those roles, even if you're not currently working in that space, and would bring like a really cool point of view on how you're looking to get involved in that in your next role.
Yeah. Jill and Teresa, those were excellent answers. Thank you so much for that. I promised at the beginning of this to keep us honest on the time, and so we're almost right there. I do want to take a couple minutes just to say this was an important conversation. Thank you all so much for being here, particularly our panelists. And I think a really good way to wrap this up is to go and allow our panelists to have final thoughts and to let individuals on the call know how they can reach out to you or just connect with you, even if it's just on LinkedIn, and we will save Enno for last.
Can I also add one thing? And I see someone here that I've been working with, and I wanted to just get his thoughts. And I hope that I'm not putting you on the spot, but Chris, you've been in the staffing space for quite some time. You're on the side of helping candidates get into these companies. Based off of the conversation that you've heard so far, what's interesting to you? What are some of the thoughts that you may have?
You're putting me on the spot.
That's right.
That's okay. I think I'm older than everybody on this call. So I come from when a fax machine was the mode of communication, frankly, and boy, it was simpler then. It was quite simpler then. I'm nervous. The space I'm in is software development, outsourcing, domestic staffing, and outsourcing globally. And it's AI obviously is a major impact. So I'm nervous about it. We're looking at our own business and what other areas we can focus on that won't be impacted by AI. You guys are all, every one of you that spoke, I'm very impressed. I'm nervous, but I'm very impressed with what you folks are doing. I still believe, and it was brought up a number of times during the call, that the human touch is still a major factor, and being able to combine the AI and the human touch, I'm not there at all, but I do believe if you can incorporate the two, you're gonna have a good way with your career. But again, just thank you. Very impressive, all of you that spoke. You really know your stuff. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Chris.
And if I could alter what I said initially, I see that Shajat and Jill have put their LinkedIn profiles in the chat. So maybe if we could still get final thoughts from everyone, since we're already at time, but as other individuals are going, if you could put your LinkedIn in the chat, if you were a panelist, that might be helpful. And let's just start with Jill. Final thoughts.
Lean into it, do the best you can, start small. And if you need any advice, quick tips, just reach out to me on LinkedIn. And thank you to the Reference Me team for putting this together.
Shajat?
Yeah, I would say, play with AI or get played. So you are, while longer term human connection is going to be the key, but there's a shorter term gain, right? There's about 20% of the world global workforce has ChatGPT, right? So if you go out at dinner, there's AI guilt right now. Everyone says, "Oh yeah, I've used ChatGPT," but then when you ask, you're like, "Do you really use ChatGPT?" So I think if 1 in 5 are actually using it, but all 5 are claiming that they're using it, you have the opportunity right now to use ChatGPT and other tools to reflect that you are AI fluent. And then, Rupesh might connect with this. This is a saying from our culture. Again, it's not meant to offend anyone, but it's a very old wisdom thing. It says the one-eyed person amongst the blind is the king. So right now, like that is the situation we're in. You have to play the system. And I'll end with this. Someone recently taught me a go-to-market discussion we were having. They're like, you spend 7 clicks without talking to anyone and you buy a Tesla in which your family is going to ride. And it's highly, highly unsafe as well. Yet we all need an onboarding call for everything. And we need to have a chat with the human. So they're like, the thing is human connection is required. But right now the game is, can you quickly get someone to make a decision and show that you're doing it digitally? Like that's a skill you'll have to reflect.
Absolutely. Rupesh?
Yeah, I think my takeaways are there are 3 things. This AI revolution really underscored the importance of human connection. It's very important to build your network. Like somebody said, your network is your net worth. So I think, this AI revolution definitely underscores that, number 1. Number 2, upskilling in AI is super essential. Number 3, I think this is part of the LinkedIn question, that basically LinkedIn has always used AI, not just now. I think AI is getting like the hot seat right now, but LinkedIn has always used AI, long time ago. So I would say the more information you keep on your profile, the more the more up to date your profile is, the higher the chances that you'll get matched with a recruiter or a job profile. A LinkedIn profile with some data is better than no LinkedIn profile with no data. So yeah, keep your LinkedIn up to date.
Yeah, absolutely. Teresa?
Thank you for this opportunity. This was really, really cool. And I'm looking forward to meeting everyone and continuing the connections. I will just say what Rupesh just shared and we had talked about earlier. You have to play the game. It's 2025. You got to play the game a little bit. You have to make sure that you're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's and investing in those people that that are at those companies, and thinking about, how you can craft that message short and sweet to get their attention and their help. But then you still have to interview really well, right? Showing up with the suit on and making sure that you're bringing your authentic self, and just humbly knowing that sometimes it has nothing to do with us and why we didn't get the job. And they're actually just looking for, a totally different dynamic for the gap in their team. And so just staying flexible and nimble and investing in yourself to grow in parallel, I think is a great use of time. But thank you guys for doing this. I think this is an excellent use of time for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Kelly?
So a final thought for me is AI is always going to continue to advance. We don't know where it's going to be later, and it could always have a huge impact on all of us, whether it's positive or negative. So to kind of piggyback on what many others have already said, might as well use it in your favor where you can, but still stick to honing in on some of those original best practices that we've done before AI was even a thing, right? That'll just make you like I want to say triple threat, even though I just listed 2 things, but it'll be like a triple threat. You'll have that AI skill set, but you'll also have that original skill set that a lot of hiring teams are looking for too. So That would be my final thought. And again, thank you so much for having me be part of the panel. This was a great conversation.
Thank you. Gerald, would you like to have any input?
I'm going to use my time to thank everybody for joining. I felt like these conversations are happening all over the world right now. And I just am amazed at the way we are adapting in real time, how our lives are changing and being changed as a result of this. And to hear how you all are thinking about it, the things that we experience, providing insight for those who are just listening in. This was an incredible discussion, and was really excited to be here and hear it.
And I want to
Thank you,
echo
Gerald.
on what, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tiffany.
No, I was calling you out. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to just piggyback on Gerald said in thanking everyone for being here today and for offering your professional and insight and wealth of information in this area and the challenges that are involved today with getting good candidates hired. And I really enjoyed and loved the solutions that were offered. I want to say that many years ago, when I thought about people being able to acquire references as they were either leaving their employment or, you know, about whatever it is that they had achieved, I in no way thought of the challenges that we would now have in trying to distinguish, you know, whether someone is a good candidate for a position or not. And what I heard today was that part of the solutions that you guys are using are references. So I'm glad to know that not only have we solved the issue for candidates and businesses in terms of expediting the hiring process, but that also having references in advance is advantageous to a candidate because it lets employers know that, you know, one, they are real candidates. Two, it verifies the work that they've done in the past, which can be one of the ways in which one can vouch for a candidate. And so I'm just really glad for the conversation that we've had, and I look forward to hopefully having more in the future.
Thank you all again for being here today. I know we're a little over time. I did say at the beginning, if you had time to hang out, we really appreciate it. And I just want to say that I hope the next time we have an event that you all will join us, join the conversation, ask really good questions, tell your friends and coworkers about what we're doing over at referenceme.com. And we'll see you next time on the next call.
Yeah. Referenceme.ai.
I know. Out of my mouth, I was like, do I have time to correct myself? Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
That went really well.
Kelly. Thank you, Vanessa.
You're just so good at this.
Yes, she is.
Tiffany, that was amazing. Thank you.
At
At some point, I was like, this is just too good. Let me just stay out of this. I was thinking, is it
great job to the both of you?
Oh, Tiffany, let me tell you, I'm drenching with sweat. No.
Oh no!
What did you think about the number of people?
What did you say, Tiffany? I'm sorry, you're breaking. You're cutting in and out.
It's okay. Can you hear me better with my camera off?
I can hear you. You think it's because the camera was on?
I don't know. I think my network is like it's just out of shape. I don't know what it's doing right here at the end of the call, but if you can hear me, I'll say I thought the number of attendees was fine. I know we wanted like significantly more, but I thought it was an excellent conversation with the number of panelists that we had, and it looked like a successful event to me. I would, and I was going to save this for like a retro, but we don't have to. I was going to say, I would like to see us really keep ourselves honest with the time. I know how easy it is and how fun it can be to keep going. But at the end of the day, I always want people to trust that we're going to do what we say we're going to do. So if today we're going to let people go at 7:15, now if they're asking questions and the conversation is just so great that like the audience is asking questions, that's one thing. And then that way we can do a release and people who want to stick around after can stay. But I want to make sure that we wrap everything that we have to say in the time that we allot. And if we feel like we need more time, I think 45 minutes is great because it leaves people with more questions and feeling like they were a part of an excellent conversation they didn't get to finish. But if we feel like we must go on for an hour, then we should set the time for an hour.
You're right. I think we should set it for an hour, and 45 minutes is when we'll stop. And that additional 15 minutes is to get that additional questions. But what was really interesting is we had so many panelists and we still got to hear how they really think. That was awesome. Usually when you have that many people,
You don't get to
you
hear
don't get to
everyone.
hear everybody's thoughts. And I just thought that went really well. So it might be the max that we can do is about that many people. And I stayed silent most of the time.
And Tiffany, that 45 minutes,
Yeah.
it
So
went
you
by like
that it wasn't about
10.
the number of attendees, it was about the number.
If you're talking, we can't hear you, Tiffany. Are you talking?
I think she was, and then it cut out. But we can wrap this up.
I think I stopped talking because I was trying to
She's
connect
cutting
from
in
my
and
phone, but
Yeah.
I just think it's my internet because my phone won't even let me join.
Okay. Well, we can catch up quickly on Saturday. Thursday we won't meet, but this was excellent. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I know that
Thank you,
a
Tiffany.
lot goes into this, so I really appreciate you helping us out here. Hopefully you heard us.
I heard you. Do you have your phone next to you, Gerald? Because I was calling your phone.
Oh, he doesn't. Call mine, Tiffany. And I'll hang up. How about we close
Okay.
Okay, we'll close it.
Okay.